we are typically an hour show. However, we have some really cool news that we thought of, and we're going to put out there. We're going to do 5-minute mini deep dive nuggets of information, each of us, every a couple of days. And the idea behind that is if you don't have an hour to listen to people, if you're not on a long drive, maybe you're in a car line, maybe you just need a quick idea to get you going for the day. These 5-minute deep dives on any particular subject about how to enhance your real estate game, what might be the motivating thing to get your butt going in gear in case you're dragging, because sometimes that happens in real estate. So I'm super psyched about that. Right?
Heck yeah. And what do you mean your butts are dragging, guys?
Yeah.
You mean you're not at 100 miles an hour every 4 seconds of the day?
No one's like you, Jen.
Yeah. All gas, no brakes.
All gas.
I mean, that's how my mind works. That's not how my body works.
Yep.
Which, funny enough, it's funny because we're all flipped, right? So I'm all gas physical, but then mental, I get a little analytical sometimes, and then what were you saying, Alex, before? Don't be fixing to whatever. What was it? The phrase?
Don't be fixing to do.
Fixing to do.
That's always fixing to do something.
Yeah. Well, my task list is always so long, so sometimes that item just gets knocked to the bottom and just keeps getting knocked to the bottom, and that's my fixing to do portion of my list.
Well, hopefully these 5-minute sections will.
My brain is a filing.
What?
I said my brain is a filing cabinet that's way too small. Way too much paperwork that needs to be put in there, so it just gets overstuffed and crushed, and it falls to the back, and then it gets under the net. It's crazy in there. You wouldn't want to be in there.
It's crazy in there.
So, Chris,
but you know what? I'm looking at your desk, and it's super clean for a high D personality, though. So I bet your file cabinet might be what's holding all your.
It's because it's because I push it all to the side.
Yeah, so high D personality types are most real estate agents, and we just have, and most entrepreneurs, I guess, just papers in everywhere, and our desktops have all these things all over the place, and we're stackers. We just stack things right on top of it.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's just that.
It's a controlled chaos.
That's exactly what it is. And you
I'm going to do this later. 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 And I can't put it away because then I won't do it. Yeah. Anyways. So talking about the you were saying what was it saying? You said just about not starting. Well, you were just saying it. I just lost focus.
Well, no, I have all these almost started content, right? I've started content, and then I just haven't quite finished it because I don't think it's perfect enough. Or I was telling Alex, I have one I did last week, and I should have posted it, but the audio sucks in my opinion. So now I'm tweaking it, still not putting it out there, and I just have to stop and let it go.
You just got to do it. Yeah, and then you do it and you get better the next time. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People appreciate that journey too. Once they start, I see somebody finds you, say, years from now, they're probably going to scroll back and go back and see what you did and just seeing the progression of your skill set, right? And people appreciate that, They really do. Now, what I was saying, though, is that you're fixing. That's what it is. You're fixing to get going or whatever it was, right? What was the saying, Alex?
Fixing to do.
Fixing to do. Well, so that's kind of why I'm excited about these 5-minute mini sessions, because, if these are just, sometimes the information is too much. I teach a lot. I teach 2 or 3 times a week for an hour, and it's a lot of information, but to digest it, you're well, what do I do? What do I do? So maybe these 5-minute little mini sessions will be oh, I can just do that today. And then it's amazing what happens when you just start doing something. All these other ideas start flowing into your brain. The brain is very adaptable that way. And you just start getting busy. It's just, so I'm actually really excited about that. But that's actually not what we're going to talk about today's podcast. We joked that we're going to struggle staying on topic, and we already did derail. But our topic, all right, what we're going to talk about today is social media has been a crutch for so many people. People have been relying on it, especially the new generation when it comes to real estate. And if we start really analyzing and paying attention to it and start really looking at the history of it, what's going on now, it's probably not a smart plan. We're going to talk about really cool tactics, ideas and thought processes that we're going to work through collectively as a group on how to kind of get around that. So way I want to, I guess the way it started is that I'm sitting, I'll be honest, I'm like, I was working out and I'm like just thinking about, because we did a class about doing short form video content yesterday about social media content. And the whole time, like afterwards, I'm thinking like, yeah, this is super, super important. And this is where the attention is. But when we post it, we have no idea who gets to see it, if the people we want to see it's going to see it, if they're going to remember us. Like we have no control over that, because you got to think like Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, of course, you know, he's the owner of Meta, Facebook and Instagram, and then you got the owners of TikTok, and Google owns YouTube. We are literally renting space from their business in order for,
we're at their mercy.
You're at their mercy, so they can change. They do and can change the rules to fit their business needs, not ours. So we can look at it, for example, like, so let's go back into Facebook, because I've been, I'm a millennial. That's what we did. But Facebook used to push live videos. That was like their thing, right? And then they would push videos for a while, right? And then they were doing stories for a long time. And then they were pushing reels last year really, really hard. And now they're pushing group posts. Like, so I got a notification because I have a creator account. And if you're listening, you should have a creator account too, even on your personal page, because you get paid for posting. You're posting anyways, you might as well get paid for it. But they give you updates and alerts of what they are paying more for. And now I just got an alert that said, hey, we're paying more money for you to post in interacting groups. So now the people behind the scenes are adjusting their algorithms and their systems, and maybe, I don't know what thought process do. Maybe they're trying to get people more engaged in groups because they saw a dip. I don't know what that is. But the point is, now Facebook is making a rule of how we should put our business out there.
And how we should market, right? So now we have to pivot our marketing strategy to fit the platform, again, because they control it, right?
Yeah.
I think here's my thought process on it. I think they see how everybody has opinions and people love to debate. And where do people go to debate nowadays? Just Facebook groups, right? So it keeps people in the platform for as long as possible and utilizing it. Because
that's their plan.
Yeah, to keep you in the app and debate, because they can't just walk away. They have to be a keyboard warrior, right?
No, I walk away all the time, especially now, dude. I see things, I'm like, that is the dumbest. Okay, just go.
I know.
Yeah.
You can't tell dumb people they're dumb. And I know that that's probably not the right thing to say in a podcast. People hear me say, but that's how I feel. So, but also if you think about it, if you go, if we put out a piece of content, maybe 3 to 10% of our quote unquote followers actually see it, and we can't control who those people are. We can't control, like, here's a good example. We did a video for Instagram that right now I think has like 60,000 views, right? Which is my most on Instagram ever. And I'm like, that's great. But now that I realize they've only seen that one video of me, they may never see me again. I have no way to take that person, or at least not yet. I'm going to talk about strategies later. I'm like, how do I get those people off of other people's platforms and put it in a business I own, right? And that's where my mind was really racing. And this morning I texted Jen and Alex, like, we got to talk about this. We need to talk through it. And I think people appreciate us talking through it, because maybe they have some ideas that they can share. And maybe this gives them ideas for them to even start thinking about. So that's where I was at with that. But go ahead, Jen.
No, it's wild to really think about it, right? So for people who've been using social media as a business, as a platform for business use, we have zero control. Okay, got it. Check. We have to pivot there. But also just thinking about it, of those 3 to 10% of people that actually view it, how many of those have we ever turned into business, right? Like really diving deep into our strategy, right? So of the 3 to 10, who's actually clicking, who's actually keeping us at the forefront of our mind. And these are just things that we have to talk about and really work through so that we can better gauge our business plan and do better.
Yeah, well, there's a whole strategy behind it. And I think, Chris, you teach it pretty well of how to stay on top of your database or your followers to appear in front of them as much as possible. You definitely teach it in your coaching. It's all about staying, I guess, in flow with them and reaching out to them and double tapping their posts.
Yeah. Funny enough,
That won't be like the you still won't show up, but you'll have a higher chance of showing up
yeah.
in front of those
But
people's feeds.
funny enough, somebody posted on Facebook, "Hey, looking for blah 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 blah," and one of my Dream 300s wrote something along the lines of, "Oh my gosh, you have to reach out to Jen Konikoff. She is the sweetest soul and not pushy. She'll get you exactly what you want without feeling like." Da, 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 da. I was like, oh my God, it's so sweet. I wrote her a postcard and I have to mail it. Like, hey, thanks, Earl, for mentioning me on that post. That was super awesome. Thanks for thinking of me. Da, da, da. Again,
Rewarding behavior.
Exactly. Rewarding behavior, but
That's awesome.
I mean, in multiple ways, right? So she clearly sees my stuff on social. She sees how I am as a person, how I do business, because she actually mentioned me as a person and as a professional, like beyond. So my whole brand, and now I get to give it to her on paper. So thank you.
Well, that's a good transition. Tomorrow at the Keller Williams office, I'm teaching one of my favorite classes, your
awesome.
business versus your brand. But yeah, that is awesome, Jen. But Brandon, you said branding, that just kind of reminded me about the class we're teaching. So super cool. Alex, I do want to touch upon this, and we didn't plan this, but yes, you mentioned that what I call my bread and butter strategy, which by the way, my new coach thinks it's a stupid name. But so maybe it'll change.
Maybe we'll rebrand that.
He goes, what do you call that particular part of your training? I said, it's my bread and butter. And he just pauses and looks at the camera. He's like, we can do better. And then he I was like, okay, thanks. He's very to the point, matter of fact.
And mashed potatoes.
Huh?
What's the better name?
I don't know. Whatever. But
like your diamond system or something.
He gave me like
foolproof.
He gave me like, I'm not even kidding, probably 100 hours of homework that I have to be done by Friday morning. And I'm like, how the hell am I going to do it? Whatever. Anyways, but I guess we're going to figure it out. See, I get coaches too, people. You need to invest in coaches. You got to, because that's the fastest way of learning. It was like, I know, I'm going to figure it out myself. I'm like, okay. Why would you go through 20 years and trying to figure something out yourself when you can learn it in 3 weeks by just paying some money? But anyways, I digress.
I was going to join in on that. I mean, most successful people, actually they all have had 5 or more mentors throughout their entire career, and different scopes of mentors, right? Between professional and personal types of mentors. So.
I've always done coaching. So with Alex, you have to.
Yeah, just look at Michael Jordan. He has a coach. Mark Cuban. He has a lifestyle coach.
They all do.
Are you better than these people? No.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how can we say that we don't need? Oh, I don't need a coach. Yeah, you do. Everybody does. The most successful people have coaches. Unless you're making more money than them, you have no right to say that you don't need a coach.
Well, there's 3 things happening there. One is ego, right? A lot of times they're like, why would I pay this person to teach me this? It's like, well, why'd you buy a book and read it? Why'd you go to school and have a teacher teach you stuff? Knowledge, the only way knowledge grows within people is if we share it. And you're going to have knowledge that they don't have, and they're going to have knowledge that you don't have. And if they have knowledge that you don't have that you want, then you probably should pay up and get it, right? Because that's the first thing. So it's an ego. The second part is the money factor. They're like, people often, and I hear this a lot, they confuse value with money, and meaning that to many people, money is the only piece of value, right? When it's not. Your time and energy is a tremendous, more valuable thing, because time you can't get back. So I go like this. I'm like, if I can pay someone, I don't know, just don't, whatever. If I want to learn something that it will take me 15 years or 5 years to learn on my own in trial and error, and probably cost me more than I'll pay for a coach, and tens of thousands of dollars to figure out, why wouldn't I just pay a coach, say $5 to $10 grand for a 2-month coaching program to teach me how to do it? Like, why wouldn't I do that? To me, it's just, that money is actually, it's a hindrance. It's devalued to people, because now they're going to be spending more by trying to cut corners and figure it out. And then it's going to take longer to get there. So their success can't compound, because it took them longer to get there for something to compound off of it, if they get there at all. So money's not the only thing of value. Your time and your knowledge are other things of huge, more important than value.
One thing you can always get back is money. The one thing you can't is time.
Yep.
Right. So you can always make your investment back, especially if you invest in the right coach that's going to help 10x your investment
Solid.
in
Solid. The right
less
coach.
than the time that the right coach, right? That will help you 10x that money in less time that it took them to learn it. Like an investment. You're not spending money, you're investing.
100%. It's an investment into your
Yeah.
future, into yourself. But
Into your time.
Your time. Yeah.
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 You can spend the next 20 years learning something and missing time with your family, losing your personal time, or you can hire a coach and get 100 hours of homework, which has probably took them decades to figure out how to pass that homework onto somebody.
Yeah, that's a good transition to number 3 on that, where people doubt themselves. Though they made bad decisions in the past that didn't work out, or they made financial decisions to hire someone to do something, and then they didn't follow through, or it wasn't what they expected, and so they have that fear of making that mistake again. That is a common thing, and we're all humans. We've had that. I had a conversation this morning with one of the coaching clients I have about, she temporarily made her license inactive, and she said she was burnt out from the business, and she wanted to talk about maybe joining our team. And the first thing that well, not one of the first things, but we were talking about, she was asking me, for the agents that are on the team, how many are doing well and how many are not. And I said the ones that do it are all doing well, and that's the truth. The ones who aren't doing well are the ones who don't show up to the meetings and don't come to the trainings and don't do the work and don't follow along. And so anyways, I was saying, and she's like, well, why would that be the case? If you're giving them everything, the layout, you're walking through it, you're even funding their business, you're doing everything. I'm like, yeah, just some people just doubt themselves.
Yeah.
They just doubt that their energy and the time that they're putting into it, is it really worth it to them? They doubt if it is. They doubt their confidence. They doubt if they can do it. So, which is fine.
That translates in what they're doing, right? That self-doubt. You're literally bringing the horse to the water, giving everything to him, but you can't make him drink
I was just
it.
about to say that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink.
No, they got to do it for themselves, and that self-doubt will translate in everything that they do, and ultimately leading them to not doing it, to an inactive license.
Jackie Ellis said something really. Jackie Ellis is our operating principal, or OP, at the Boynton Beach and Boca Raton Keller Williams offices. If you're wondering, she was a major player when she was in production. Now she just runs these offices. And in one of her classes about building a team, the first time I took it twice, and the first time I heard it, really, really brought a lot of clarity for me, because I was giving so much to people, like everything, and a bunch of agents did well with it, the ones who did it, but I would always struggle with the ones that didn't, both coaching students and team members. And what she said, she goes, Chris, your only job, well, she wasn't just talking to me, to the class, she goes, your only job as a team lead or as a coach or whatever you're doing, if they're trying to help, is to provide opportunities. If they don't take that opportunity, you can nudge them a little bit, but at the end of the day, they need to make the decision if they want to grab that opportunity and run, not you. And so that made me real comfortable, because before I was spending a fortune, because I'm like, maybe I'm not giving them enough. Maybe I need to order more ads for them, or may order more marketing material. And I was constantly trying to like give. And no matter, and I made that mistake early on in my team when I was building a team, I would just put all this money into them up front to get them going. And then they wouldn't produce, and then I was out all that cash, and then they ended up just not succeeding. But it wasn't that, again, it was just because they likely didn't have the confidence in themselves to do it, even with all that backing, right? So now I just provide opportunity, and it works out well,
Yep, you can motivate people, but you can't give them discipline. You can't teach them discipline, right? They have to have self-discipline. They can have hopes and dreams, like, oh, I'm going to be this great real estate agent, and you can give them the whole playbook and the opportunity, but you can't give them discipline. They have to figure out themselves. Yeah, you can motivate somebody, but they have to have motivation to begin with.
Yeah. I also think there's an unfortunate thought process with some people that it's easy. Like they see their friends posting stuff, and then they just find it easy. There was one person in particular I interviewed for possibly being on our team. And I stopped it right away because on the first or second interview I asked, I was like, so what excites you the most about being a real estate agent? And she goes, oh, I love just the idea of dressing up, being cute, and looking at all these expensive houses, and putting on heels and just like taking pictures and stuff. I'm not even kidding. I was like, oh, this is not going to work, because if that is what the perception is of the business is, they're in for a rude awakening. And I don't know where they're at or what they're doing now, but I don't think they're in the game when they like, oh, I actually have to work. So people see the exciting things, right? Mm-hmm. They see like the listing tours, they see the reels, they see the posts, they see us with their kids and family, see us on vacation. But let's be real. I might get yelled at from this because people who coach how to do coaching programs, they'll not necessarily real estate, but in general, they always say people will buy something if they find that it's obtainable for them to do and they can do it quickly. And my struggle as a real estate coach is, but I'll be lying to them. You know what I mean? It's going to take time. It's going to take work. And a lot of that stuff you do behind the scenes, the boring stuff, people aren't going to see.
Well, you're not offering a magic pill. That's the difference, right? You're not offering a magic pill. You're offering a layout, a plan. And I can see why maybe other coaches may frown upon that statement, because immediately you see the clickbait stuff, like make $1 million your first year by using these 3 steps. Click.
Oh yeah, that's what sells though.
Yeah, well, it's clickbait. It's a sales piece. It's anchoring you in. But again, in reality, it's just so much work. And I'm going to segue us, guys, because we digress. Okay, so all this work that we're doing, we're putting in the grind on the back end. We're doing all this stuff, and we're focusing on our social media platform. But social media platform is there to make money themselves. How do we, as agents in the biz, navigate these waters?
Oh, we're going back to what we're supposed to talk about.
Yes, you're welcome. Oh. I mean, I love what we're talking about, but I also find that it's important that we stay on track.
Yeah.
Good job.
Good job. Yeah. So, all right. So I'll tell you what I was thinking, of course, because I'm annoying like that, and then you guys just come in and tell me what you thought. So, okay. So here's the thing: real estate is way different than most products and services that you sell, because real estate is it's not like people are buying a gym membership or learning how to play guitar or like a new purse or something to that effect, right? It's not even like for a personal trainer. You don't buy a house and then just change your mind and just not buy the house. I mean, technically you can, but you know what I'm saying? It's not like, but I'm saying like, it's not like an impulsive thing, or it's not something that you're thinking about doing for a while. Then all of a sudden you see an ad for and you do, because you can, and I am being coached on this stuff with the training now. So my mind's being blown wide open in these trainings. And most of a lot of businesses can get away with running a really compelling product that solves a specific problem to a specific person, and they can run ads to target those people and then bring them in and offer them the product to solve their solutions. Real estate's not like that. You can't just run like these like ads like, hey, were you thinking about buying a house when you're on the crapper today? Well, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just run ads like that, because like this is life changing. This is life changing transactions and decisions. Yeah. Oh, you know what, honey? I saw an ad today and I think we should buy a house. Let's call, so it's a different framework.
Have you ever seen that AC ad? Your wife is hot.
Yes.
It's like the same thing.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah, but but that's not even a lead magnet. That's just a attention grabber, right? But you're right. Even that service is not like you need your AC fixed all the time. But even with AC companies, they can run, and I'll pivot back to real estate because I had thinking about it. But if I was in an AC company and I was going to run ads and try to get lead magnets and whatever, it would be stupid just to run ads for AC when most people's ACs are working just fine, right? You would have to offer a service or product for people with air conditioned units that they can benefit them even when their AC is working fine. Maybe it'll be a free air filter dropped off at your residence every 6 months or something. Get in a free checkup air filter system every 6 months. We'll come on, do a free checkup, and even give you a pack of air filters on whatever it is. And then we can go there and create relationships with them and maybe have them sign like a 4-year service contract where whatever, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I would do. But anyways, we're not in the AC business, but so I was thinking, okay, these companies, and this is how this all ties together. Social media, for the most part, we can't control. And a lot of these other businesses, what they do is, what I'm learning is, they control an email list, right? So they grab data from these lead magnets, and also organically, they track the consumers to traffic to sources, business that they do own. So if you have an email list, you own that, right?
Mhm.
And the open rates on your email list are pretty high, anywhere from 20 to 45%, depending on your emails, right? As opposed to only 3 to 10% of people that you may or may not know see your post on whatever. So you have people that you can nurture to your own message that you owned, instead of another platform, like whatever. And then they have higher open rates and consumption rates than social media, right? So my
Mm.
mind's like, whoa, so I started thinking, like, if I had to promote a product and I had the same amount of email followers as I did on Instagram and Facebook followers, would I do a post? Or if I had to choose one, would I do a post?
Hmm.
Now that I know the data, or would I send an email? Right? So it's like, okay, of course I'm going to send the email. No, why would you do a post if you're
Well, I was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, with
Yeah,
the
both.
with the post, you have 3 to 10%. You have that 3 to 10% possibility that people will see it, but then with your email, you control the list. However, you have to make sure the email's crafted in a way, because they
Yes.
still get spammed with
Right.
hundreds and hundreds of emails from other businesses. So it's figuring out that as well.
Well, in the real estate industry, the open rates for most realtors is like around 21% ish, right? Our Seinfeld emails are in the 40s, you know? So, yeah, so we've always had that awareness of,
What are your Seinfeld emails?
oh, you'll get that. So we always had the awareness that we had to be different emails. A Seinfeld email we send out once a week, and I'm realizing we should do more. And I'm gonna give you some email ideas that I was thinking about too. That's in that same vein, but it's an email about nothing. Basically, we could have an email about anything. Like literally this morning in our team meeting, apparently one of my dogs left a little turd nugget on the floor, and I rolled over in the middle of our team meeting, and I had to clean it before our podcast today. You're like, oh, what's that? Well, you can make a story out of that. Have you ever been in a situation that was so stinky, but you couldn't do anything about it because you're stuck in the moment, right? We can make whatever. Anyways, the point is, you can make stories about anything, about your life, and about nothing to your people, with a small hook at the end for real estate. Maybe it's like, yeah, you know what also stinks? Not being able to find the home of your dreams, but I have your solution. Check out our listings with this link here, right? And they'll click and they'll get the link to all your lists. You know what I mean? You can always wrap it into, so it's a story about nothing that happened with a small like transition. Jen loves that word, into a small hook about real estate related. And those have open rates around the 40 range. So anyway, going back to the point of, if you had to choose between sending 10,000 emails with an open rate around 40%, right? Or doing a post on Instagram to your 10,000 followers, or maybe 3 or 10% might see it, of the people who know you or aware of you, and let's say you're selling a book, what would you do if you knew the numbers? I would send an email.
Send an email, yeah. But I feel like if you have the right post, if it's like a video post, you can always retarget those people, which is nice, because it's not so easy to retarget people that have opened your emails. But if you can retarget people that have watched a certain percentage of your videos, then you can kind of keep them in a sort of funnel.
That's if you're doing paid ads.
There's multiple.
You can take that video link from Facebook and embed it into your email.
A lot of different strategies.
I've done that.
There's a lot of thinking about email strategies too. So you guys, here's some things I was kicking the tires on. Well, I should say I would say that the emails that we teach are very similar to the Seinfeld emails, where you're not, Debbie did it again, Susie sold, open house this weekend by Johnny. No one gives a shit about this, because of crap about any of that, right? Let's be real, they don't. So that's why we do the way we do it. Then I'm like, okay, what are other ways that we can, now that I'm thinking about the numbers and analytics, and I'm learning analytics, and I'm learning from coaches in different industries on how things are done there. And I'm like, how can, and they're really big on email list, right? All of them are. And I'm like, okay, if that is how these guys are doing it, maybe in the real estate world, we need to do it too. So I was just thinking about what are some ways to connect, and maybe they'll coach me differently later, which I'll convey to you, to put out some email content that serves our audience more, right? That's what the Seinfeld emails do. It gives them a story that makes them laugh, right? And it serves them. That's why they open them. So I'm like, okay, how about something like the 3 favorite, well, it'll be for my wife. My wife's 3 favorite things she bought on Amazon this month and why, right? And you know what else you can buy on Amazon? A lockbox if you're selling your house on your own. But why would you do that? Just give me a call. I'll take care of it for you. Whatever. You can link it any way you want at the end. So that was an idea, right? And I'll be like, the three TV shows that I watched last year that I think everyone should. And I want to know what yours are too. And we just talk about the 3 TV shows, my 3 favorite shows on Netflix, whatever. Just anything that tell you a story, convey something that can connect and serve with your audience where it's not so salesy. So I thought that was, I don't know, just what do you think about things like that?
That's good. I kind of like that. I've been trying to revamp my newsletter myself. And we had a very JPEG. There's a lot of photos in it. And I realized my open rate was trash. So I told my assistant, let's get rid of 99% of the photos, keep a logo in there, keep a headshot, and let's just make it mostly text-based and like make it fun. You know, we did have a section of local events that are happening. That way people have a reason to look for my email to see what's going on in the neighborhood. Are there any events going on? Maybe something fun this weekend. So probably gonna keep stuff like that, but definitely make it more fun.
Yeah,
I just thought of having like a section where it's like the personal section where just like it talks about, you know, what I'm doing with my life. If they have a suggestion, I'm binging this. What's something you guys are watching? I'd love to hear.
Oh, that's great.
Back
Yeah, because you're
doesn't have to do with
engaging
real
them
estate.
in. Yeah.
no, I love it.
I made an
In
awesome dish
multiple ways.
last night.
What is the coolest restaurant you went to this month or last year? Right.
Yeah.
This is mine. What
I
about
just
you?
checked out Harry's in West Palm. You know, like I love their beef Wellington. Have you tried it?
How would you compound that to? Now thinking about it, maybe you would do a like a content piece, maybe a reel about Harry's. Like, have you ever been here? Whatever, and just have your script written out and do some content, and then you can link the video of you doing that content in that email, right? Double whammy it.
Synergy.
That's it. Actually, so I'm doing. Actually, I already recorded it. I have to edit it before my meeting with Tabitha Cabrera. By the way, I have to edit it for the Vinny's. It was Vinny's chicken Caesar salad wrap. It's like all the buzz and Boca, right? So I did a reel on that. I just had to edit and get it out.
20 years. It's crazy how
Yep.
wild it's gotten.
Did they always have wraps like that though?
5, 6 months.
See, that's the power. But no one knew. And I'm born and raised in Boca. I didn't know. I must have driven by that place a million
Really?
times.
Oh
You
my
know?
God, I've been eating it since high school.
What?
He's
Yours sounds a
doing
little-
I've been going there since high school, ordering
Oh.
the same thing. Yeah,
There
fajita
you
go.
chicken wrap, add jalapenos. It's amazing. If you're really hungry, you can finish it all. If not, you're okay. You can share it. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Save it for later.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very
So
fun.
speaking about Facebook group and tying in Vinny's, I'm gonna stand up. I gotta stand up. My desk is moving. I need to move a little bit. I got a new desk. It goes up. See? Look at that. Now you can see my boobage. Oh, I gotta back up. Okay. That's not gonna work.
This is turning in
God,
many
if
directions.
anybody's listening to this, you should really watch the YouTube.
I wanted to get up and it didn't work. But I have my little board here. But anyways, I'm gonna go back down now. That didn't work out
Wait,
the
but
way I
why
wanted
didn't
to.
it work?
I don't know.
Is it stuck?
Yeah,
Is it
probably.
stuck on something, a cord?
No, because what happened was I adjusted my camera before the podcast and I shouldn't have. And I forgot I did until I started going up. Anyways, so Facebook was talking about how you should post into groups. And I'm going to talk about some email list ideas too, on how to get people off social media into an email list that I'm going to try. It may or may not work in a second. But Facebook is talking about, in particular, about posting in groups more. So I started. And since we're starting to do more localized content, a lot more of it, I was like, you know what? I'm going to leverage this opportunity. I'm going to go into the Boca Raton group called Ask Boca and
Oh, I saw
ask
that.
them, ask them like, hey, if you were a tourist for 24 hours, if you had someone who was a tourist for 24 hours and they only had 24 hours in Boca, what would you tell them to do? And then
That was a
for,
sick post. You had so many comments.
right? And I'm like, because everyone has an opinion, right? And not only that, so I was like, don't say your favorite restaurant. So this might be a tip for all of y'all, because then they'll just give a restaurant. I wanted someone to say like 20 things, right?
Yeah.
And then it got so long that I'm like, oh, I can make 3 days out of this. And then I did another post updating like, hey, thanks for your whatever. Here's 3 days, 72 hours in Boca. What do you think? And everyone has their opinions. It's stupid. This is great. I love it. What are you, a grandpa? This is what grandparents would do, blah, blah, blah. Everyone has their, you should just leave. Don't come to our city, right? You get all that. It's part of the gig. You know,
well, you
there's
can
one
turn that into a post, or that post for like, if I want a multi-generational trip to Boca, where would I go? Like, I'm bringing grandma, grandpa, mom, kids. Where would I go?
Yeah, well, we're doing reels on it. You're going to be in them, Jen. If you had, we're gonna make it a series, 24 hours in Boca, and then we're gonna do 24 hours, and then a month later. You think so? Yeah, but that's long form. I don't have time for that.
Yeah, but you have an editor for it. Like, you can repurpose the footage.
But it's like, okay, so if we're recording vertically for reels,
you can do shorts. It could be in the short.
Oh yeah, that will be done. But Alex is thinking of like a long-term horizontal, long form horizontal.
I know it takes a lot of work, but I feel like it would hit. Like, just do at least like 24 hours in Boca, like a day trip in Boca.
It's actually it'll be a tourist in my own city, 24 hours in Boca, and make it a series, right? But the reason why I like the short one is because a lot of it can be just B-roll. You don't actually go. And if you're doing a long form one, then I got to get Josh for the day. You know what I mean? And then we got to go all these places, which I'm not opposed to, but I also have to do my job, which is a realtor, shockingly. I do have to pay bills.
Someone said to me the other day, they're like, Jen, you and your team do so much content. When do you find time to actually buy and sell real estate? It's a balance, right? And we obviously leverage our team. And that's why we get to be able to continue to build and expand our brand. But yeah, and then I had another friend tell me, isn't it funny how 20 years ago realtors didn't have to create content? Like, it was just a different business.
Yeah.
A monster. It's ever evolving, and we have to evolve with it, or we're the ancients sitting there with your Rolodex.
You have to. So we started this conversation about how to not rely so much on social media. And we don't at our team in our coaching. We teach a lot of other methods like snail mail and email content, which we were just talking about, and other forms. But how can we leverage the people that we connect to on social media and maybe get them offline to a product that we own, which is our email list? Mm-hmm. So I had a couple ideas and I don't know how. I actually made note of it. So I'm going to turn to my left and read my notes. So it's just from lead magnets, right? And the problem with our lead magnets is that in real estate, like we were saying before, it's not like just some impulsive buy that people are just going to get like, oh, I'm just going to buy a house today, right? A lot of people already know who their realtor is in the moment. Like if someone's looking right now or thinking about looking within the next week or two or a month or 3 months, they already kind of have an idea who they're going to use as their agent, right? So this is like, so targeting that way is not really helpful, if you will, like other industries, but we could still have more broad things to offer of value that we can put in our email list, that we can nurture that over time for them eventually to hire us or refer people to us. All right. So I'm not going to go down the whole list of them. I'll give you 2, maybe 3. So the first one was the 7-step roadmap to buying a home without wasting money. And it'll just be a short guide that we create. We can just create a guide. We can use we could, but use Canva to make it nice. And be like, all right, so whatever, you can just have your thing. Like, you want a roadmap on how to buy a house without wasting money, even if you're not thinking about buying right now. Well, here, grab this thing and blah, 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 whatever the script is. You know, it just DM me if you want it, or type in the word manual, and you can use like chatbots like ManyChat to automatically fulfill that for you and grab their data, put it in an email list, whatever. Just a lead magnet, like a guide to buy a home without wasting money. Another one is, I want to know, we have the HomeBot app. I don't work for HomeBot. I don't have HomeBot. I don't have an affiliate link for them. I have nothing to gain by promoting their product, except it's a fantastic product for a cheap price. And in the HomeBot app, it helps people check the values of their home. It can check how much equity that they can actually use for other investments, how much interest they could save or lose if they refinance or if they pay more towards their equity every month. And it's a really cool, great app. And also what other listings are similar to the house they're owning or on the market have sold recently. It's a great app. Anyway, so I was like, okay, we can maybe make content to get people into our HomeBot app, because then we can collect their information then and then transfer them to our email list. Anyway, so it'll be like a reel. And the hook I have here is like,
what's good about HomeBot? Just real quick, you can put videos in HomeBot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've put videos in there, but it actually discusses every aspect of like what the market's looking like, what it means, what this for status, and that's a good way to stay on top of people as well. Sorry.
So no, I want to hear that. So you do those every month
through HomeBot?
No, so they're evergreen through HomeBot. There's scripts in there, and you can upload videos where it talks about what's a pre-qualification versus a pre-approval letter. If the market in that person's neighborhood that you have their address tied to is a seller's market, it has a video that they send out, a seller's market video or a buyer's market video. It automatically sends that video. I just have them all uploaded to YouTube as unlisted, and then I upload the link into HomeBot. So I have probably like 15 to 20 different videos that HomeBot gave me the scripts for, recorded them, uploaded them all, and it'll send out the right videos based on that newsletter through HomeBot. It's really awesome.
I'm looking at it right now. I can't believe I didn't click on this little section before.
Well, I have, and
Nugget.
I keep on kicking the tires about doing it. And you're right. So I added it to my daily schedule, which is already packed, just right here to do it. So thank you for reminding us of that. So get them into, how do you get them into that if they're not really interested in buying a house, maybe, or selling a house anytime soon? So a hook or a reel. I'm not gonna give you the whole script, but just to start off with, I thought of like this. So 90% of homeowners check their stock portfolio, but never check their home value. That's a mistake. Click on the link in my bio or whatever it is for a free home value checkup. You may be richer than you think, right?
Ooh, bars.
I know, bars. So the idea is that they would, however you connected your HomeBot to that reel or that post, that they get into your HomeBot CRM that you can now transfer into your email CRM, and you can start sending them those Seinfeld emails or those Amazon list or those movie of the week list or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and now you have their address as well, so you can snail mail them. Also put them into that if you like.
Yeah, the great letters.
Yeah. Just
and HomeBot tells you high sell scores based on their interaction with the app and everything.
And it gives them options to click on a button to say, how much is my house worth now? You know what I mean? Or if they play around with the calculator and stuff like that, or if they fine tune their value, you get told when to reach out to them, or if you should reach out to them.
My open rates on HomeBot, it shows you the open rates is at 80%, 80. It might be like 79, 82, but around there. All right. The last idea that I got for the HomeBot to put that out to try to get people from social media into your email list would be a poll. Do you know do you know your home's value? Yes or no? Or yes or no, I want to. And then if they say no, I want to, then you just DM them your link to your HomeBot. All right, cool. I got something to tell you what your home value is every month for free. Click here. Simple.
Money.
So 3 ideas. Now we have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be fixing to do now.
I like the third one. It's simplest for me. The poll one.
Delayed?
I
feel like I'm delayed. Like I talk and then 10 seconds later you guys react.
I don't know what it is on your end, but your voice hasn't been good and you've been grainy this whole time. So, but
thanks for telling me.
No.
But it's fine. All right, so let's wrap this up because we're all pretty busy. All right, so yeah, that's why, in a nutshell, why we need to focus on things that we do own instead of social media. So I'm actually going to do that post. I'm going to create a still image on Canva about that poll. Do you know what your home value is? Yes or no? No, but I want to. And if based on the people's comments, if anyone comments, then I'm gonna slide in their DMs with my HomeBot link. I'm like, hey, this is a cool thing that you can do. See if it works.
Before you go, Chris, tell the people why it's best to do a still image versus just the text.
I don't know why.
Well, if you only do text, you can only do Facebook. If you do still image, you take
Oh,
the same concept
yes.
and have different platforms to be able to use that strategy on. Come on, guys.
That is accurate. You can't just type it in like you can Facebook or anything else like that.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. All right.
All right, hold on. We're
That's
gonna
good fun.
hold on, Alex. You gotta go. I gotta say. I'm really excited. If you guys made it this far in the podcast, congratulations. You made it. Woo! You did it.
Yeah, what do we win?
You win more knowledge. So every so we're depends on when you listen, is probably whatever. We're in January 29th, 2025, and February 4th, we're relaunching the coaching program from front to back. Okay, that's great. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, noon. 40 seats are open. I think I don't even know who's in there now or not. But that's not the exciting part. Well, that is. But the exciting part I want to talk about is Alex and Jen and also JD, and I think Tabitha might do it too. They are filling the calendar up for our members to do accountability and follow up little mini meetings, right? Alex is all about accountability. You come, say, hey, did you do, what was taught the other day? You did great. Let's see it. Let's see what you worked on. You didn't. Okay, how can we fix this? How can we work on this with you? And Jen and everyone's doing this similar thing. So there's a whole calendar of these up in the Skool community. So you head to Skool, SKOOL, so search Coaching by Kuzi, get in there and click on calendar, and you just tap the program that you want to be in. So do that.
Just tap.
Great sell.
Just do that thing. All right, let's go. Let's wrap it up. You guys good?
Yep.
Okay. Have the greatest day, everyone.
You too.